Now we would like to welcome this year's Award of Excellence recipient, Dr. Krista Lentine of SSM Health St. Louis University Hospital. The Award of Excellence was established to recognize a scientist or clinician whose exceptional research has contributed novel insights in, or resulted in, improved access to kidney transplantation. There's no one more deserving for the 2020 award than Dr. Lentine. Let's welcome her now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Krista Lentine from St. Louis University, and I'm excited to share in thanking our community for joining tonight's Gift of Life Gala. And I'd like to express my deep appreciation to our National Kidney Foundation chapter for the honor of being named the 2020 Award of Excellence recipient. I know many of you personally, and for those I'm yet to meet, I'm sorry we aren't sharing the evening at the St. Louis Aquarium in person this year. Still, it's wonderful to be able to connect virtually and to celebrate the mission of the National Kidney Foundation in supporting kidney patient care in our community. As a bit of background for new and old friends, I've had the privilege of working at St. Louis University since 2005. And to recap briefly how I got here, I'm a California native and received my education and medical training at Stanford. I tell this story for framing, but one of the most adventuresome things I did in those early years, to the concern of my parents at the time, was to travel halfway around the world on a medical mission trip to Papua New Guinea during my training. But occasional outreach travel aside, still my plan was to live in California long term. But plans can change, and thanks to my husband, we moved to St. Louis in 2004, and I completed fellowship at Washington University. And the WashU year was important because in that year, I received formative mentoring from Drs. Dan Brennan and Mark Schnitzler. Their combined mentoring led to productive collaborations and friendships that have continued to this day. And when Mark moved to SLU, he recruited me along with him. And thanks to Dr. Kevin Martin and Dr. Schnitzler, I joined the SLU faculty in 2005. It's been a real privilege to grow with our research group, nephrology division, and transplant team, and in the process establish personal family roots and substantial local pride. Clinical research is an important aspect of my daily work, and to highlight, our research program focuses on transplant data science, clinical epidemiology, and health economics. We also conduct prospective observational work, including projects in genetic risk assessment, which include partnerships with the Mid-America Transplant Foundation, as well as clinical trial works with our projects centered around key themes of optimizing organ use and reducing discards, supporting and improving living donor safety, and improving transplant outcomes. We invest substantial effort in our publication productivity and are proud to contribute to the academic dialogue that helps move the field forward. We also participate in transplant policy, and I was fortunate to serve on the United Network for Organ Sharing Living Donor Committee for 7 years, including a chair term. This experience also included service on the Policy Oversight Committee, and through the UNOS work, I learned a lot firsthand about how transplant practice is governed in our country. I was also fortunate to co-chair an international work group on living kidney donation and help author the first international guideline on living donor care. We also partner with the Scientific Registry of Transplant Recipients, including helping pilot the first prospective U.S. registry for long-term living donor follow-up, the Living Donor Collective. As breaking news, the new SRTR contract was just awarded in October 2020, and I'm delighted that Dr. Schnitzler and I are participating as senior scientists. And of note, expanding the Living Donor Collective to a national registry is one key goal. In my role, I've had the privilege of serving on a number of professional society work groups and steering committees related to transplant patient and living donor care. And this has allowed me to network and build relationships across our professional community, for which I'm deeply grateful, and to participate in national advocacy initiatives, including Kidney Health Advocacy Days on Capitol Hill, and witnessing the signing of the Advancing American Kidney Health Executive Order in Washington, D.C. in July 2019 was one of my most memorable professional experiences to date. It's been an honor to work with the NKF nationally in several important ways. With regard to professional education, I had the privilege of serving on the Spring Clinical Meetings Programs Committee and to lead the transplant course and programs in 2016 and 2017. This educational mission is mirrored in the efforts of our local chapter as reflected in regular roundtable events. And it's an honor to serve on the local medical advisory board and provide input in our local programs. And it was exciting to have the 2019 NKF President Holly Kramer visit St. Louis for the inaugural lecture. And Program Manager Jane Delworth does a wonderful job organizing these events. I'd like to take a moment to thank NKF National for the 2018 Massery Distinguished Lecture Award, which provided the opportunity to speak on balancing risk and autonomy in living kidney donation, and for continued collaboration such as the 2019 Kidney Transplant Research Roundtable in New York City, with special thanks to Kevin Longino, Matt Cooper, Holly Kramer, Jessica Joseph, and others for the planning and vision. And we look forward to writing up the discussion and recommendations. Returning locally, one thing I find so energizing about our local chapter is the commitment to kidney advocacy. And Kathleen Davis and her team actively engage with local and state leadership to advocate for support of kidney care. This includes embracing an issue of critical importance, the Living Donor Protection Act. And it was inspiring to witness Kathleen's dedication to outreach with state senators and representatives to garner support of this bill. I had the privilege of joining Kathleen to testify at the Missouri State Senate in January 2020, and to return along with a patient advocate to testify at the House in February 2020. Unfortunately, the pandemic prevented a return visit to witness signing by the governor, but it is gratifying that NKF advocates had an important role in supporting the success of this bill. Our transplant program and the NKF share a mission of local community outreach. We are the second transplant program in the country to host Big Ask, Big Give workshops in partnership with the NKF. And these workshops help kidney patients and their loved ones share about kidney disease, transplantation, and their need for an organ donor with their social network. And we're excited to continue these programs virtually with an upcoming workshop in December. I'd like to recognize other local collaborators, including Mid-America Transplant, both for their vision and partnership in providing organ transplantation to our community, as well as for their support of research and innovation, including the Jane A. Beckman Endowed Chair, created in partnership with the SSM Foundation that helps support my work. I'd also like to thank individual community advocates like Ms. Beckman for her outreach on behalf of organ donation. This is also an important time to recognize our nurse colleagues, fellows, and frontline workers, here sharing some time pre-pandemic, and we're grateful for your dedicated service during the pandemic. And I have special thanks for our Living Donor Coordinator, Cody Woolley, for invaluable partnership. I want to thank our university and department, including Drs. Wilmont and Nyack, for their leadership, Ken Olaf and his team for their work in research development, and our amazing nephrology division, including the leadership of Dr. Barton and our wonderful collaborative faculty. We want to recognize our colleagues at Washington University and all the kidney practitioners in our region across practice settings for their collaboration in serving our local kidney community, as well as for collaboration in research and education. And finally, I'm grateful for wonderful collaborators in organ donation and transplant work across the country, and for the honor of being part of the outstanding transplant program led by Dr. Randall, and for the support of SSM. So thanks again to the National Kidney Foundation for your mission and for hosting this wonderful event, and to all of you for your time in joining this evening. And I look forward to working together to support and advance the care of kidney patients locally and nationally. Wishing you a wonderful rest of the Gift of Life Gala.